Hello, everybody. I forgot to make the other video last night. All right, after this, I've got to wash dishes and then I go look for work. This is the why Gynarchy has to be why the Gynarchy movement has to be international, not local. Some of this stuff is like duh, but I just feel like somebody has to like say like why. Like somebody just has to put it out there so that somebody can say, is there a video on this? Is there somebody saying it? Blah, 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 blah. So I'll just go through the reasons. The first reason is that we should never put all of our eggs in one basket. It's very sound wisdom. If you do, obviously somebody could come along, smash your basket, destroy all your eggs, and then what are you going to have for dinner? Sausage? Sausage is no good without eggs. Anyways. No, I may have just committed blasphemy there. But that's the beginning of it. The second reason why you want to have an international Gynarchy movement is so that you can contribute to something that's bigger than yourself and that will preserve the existence of your thoughts and ideas in case something happens to you in your local community, because it's happened. You know, there have been Gynarchists who have been geographically isolated. They've had to go online to find their own people. Sometimes they can't find individuals offline. And so when they die, sometimes whatever they have, they take with them. And there's no way to recover that loss. We're completely diminished by it. So having people to interact with and talk with, it makes it so that, you know, if I die tomorrow, like if somebody, for example, just runs me over with a car, I constantly walk long distances on foot. I think I walked like an hour to the post office the other day. Somebody could just accidentally veer over and you know, take me out. If that happens, you know, and I'm dead, if I decide to just stick to local stuff, right, just stuff, and I didn't make these videos, I didn't reach out to people, then what's going to happen to these ideas, these concepts? Nothing. They would just vaporize into thin air. But with Gynarchists, they're watching the videos, listening, like, okay, I like this, or I don't agree with this, but then they take it. They take it, and this leads to the third thing. Influence. You know, having that kind of influence where what you're saying and doing affects people from different cultures, from different countries. It means that even if like the thing is, sometimes I think that people, I don't want to say this is an underrated point, but if anyone remembers the music career of Jimi Hendrix, he was a famous rock and roll guitar player, and he did not get his start in the United States. I believe he had to go to Europe. I think it was England. I could be wrong. If I am, I apologize. I'm not a music buff. But he didn't get his start in the United States. He had to go abroad, and he's not the only one who had to do that. There was another individual named Bill, although different career. His name was Bill Hicks, and what Bill did, and I'm not in any way endorsing Bill. I'm not saying he's a good guy. He definitely said a lot of misogynistic shit and things that I don't approve of. So I just want to make that clear. I'm saying this strictly for the purpose of the point I'm making. I'm not telling you or trying to imply that you should go watch these individuals or endorse what they do or what they say. He had a habit of being a very nasty and mean-spirited person sometimes, especially when he was doing his act. Like, for example, he'd use the C word and stuff. So he had that influence from his culture. The misogynistic underbelly of society really did not do him or Sam Kinison or others any favors. So he went to Europe, and I think he had a greater reception there than he did in the United States. So one of the reasons why you want to do it internationally is maybe no one in your local community wants to hear what you have to say. Maybe like you're in a deeply different kind of political area. Like say you live in an Arabic part of the world. You live in a world where it's very patriarchal, very male-led, and you feel like your voice is not listened to. Well, people will hear you online. So that's something that's very important for having an international community, so that even if you can't reach your local community, maybe you can reach people out there somewhere. Maybe you can still feel like, and that leads me to the next point, feeling like you're connected to something bigger than yourself. It can be difficult to make connections with people, period. But if you're living in one of those areas, and I know people are because they tell me, they'll type out their comments saying, I live in this area, I live in that area, it's not a very safe place, I feel unsafe, which I'm really sorry to hear about. And they want to move. They want to find a better area where they can feel like, oh, these people don't hate me, or these people are cool with me. And being able to connect to that, having that community, even if it's not as, I think that in-person community will always be stronger, will always be better for human beings, because oh crap, about to sneeze. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the in-person is better because people are touchy creatures. They like to hug, they like to do activities like dancing, and you can't do that on the internet with other people. There's certain drawbacks, and that gets in the way. I think I've pretty much covered like most of the reasons why the Gynarchy the Gynarchy movement needs to be international. But I'd say the final one is sometimes, and I know this is going to sound maybe a little bit snobby. I don't mean it to come across this way. I'm only trying to suggest this, and I'm going to use women. There are some women in the Gynarchy community who, like, when they're talking, they're just on another level. Like, when I listen to them talk, I'm like, this is on another level compared to some of these other people. So, for instance, you have two examples, right? And this is why I feel like you need a community. You need an international community. Because I know where these people live. I don't know who exactly they are, and for their own safety, I think it's better that way. Because not everybody has the willingness or the desire or even wants to do what I do. Because what I do could be seen as insane, and I don't deny that perspective. But what I noticed is that some of the women will only mention like arguments or make like repeat statements about like women running things, but that's all they do. They just repeat these generic statements, or they put forward general arguments, but that's about it. They don't talk about other things. But then you have these women that they'll go into these long paragraphs about matriarchal societies, all this great information. They have access to all these resources. They really seem to know what they're talking about. They're very kind. They're very friendly. They're easy to get along with. And for me, it's like, if I didn't have access to some kind of international community, I would not have these people in my life at all. Like, it really does matter being able to locate and find women who are effective communicators and effective leaders. In other words, they know exactly what they're doing and they're practicing with preach. There was one individual who got somebody to, it's still in my head because I can't forget it, getting somebody to buy a book or buy books for a library makes me want to do the same thing. It makes me want to type up and send messages to libraries and do that. In fact, I might just do that today. Since I'm already going out, I might just go to my local library and talk with them if I get that far. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'll do it today or do it in a few days. But I think that my personal belief is that I'm not egalitarian. I don't believe that all people are equal intellectually and so on. I think that there are some women in our community who are just better at this, who are more educated, who have better ideas, who are more interested in connecting on a personal level, who are not just looking at this as a business, but see it as a way of life. And so without an international Gynarchy community, I have literally no way to contact these individuals. And this is difficult because what happens if everybody in your community seems like a fraudster, or their arguments or everything else that they do appears shallow at best? In other words, what happens if you can't find somebody you can have in-depth conversations with, people who can really interact with you in a way that these other individuals simply can't. And I think this, among probably other reasons, is why we need the international community we need Gynarchy movement to be international local. If I've left any reasons out, feel free to mention them. Like, is there another reason why you think the international community, the Gynarchy movement should be an international community, not just a local? I should probably say that in the video. It's international, not just local. Okay. I hope everyone has a great day. I got to get to dealing with cleaning dishes, and then I got to get out. Please take care, everyone. Stay safe out there, and have a blessed day.